making the decision to prepare an estate plan, it's important to understand an attorney's professional qualifications.
I think that the best way to find an attorney is to ask trusted friends and family as to whether or not they have an estate planning attorney. And if they do, did they like that person? Could they make a recommendation?
If you're still unsure, Deborah Slezak also recommends contacting the New York State Bar Association's Lawyer Referral Service.
What do you want to happen to your money on your death? So that when we are preparing whatever document it's going to be, whether it be a will or a revocable living trust or whatever mechanism that we're going to think is best for your estate plan, we need to know your goals so that when drafting that, we can achieve that end.
Before visiting a funeral director to make arrangements, think about your preference for a funeral service and bring a list with you when you go to the funeral home. The funeral director will give you printed information that shows the cost of each item and help you choose an appropriate and dignified service.
I know the first tip that I give my clients is go to the funeral director of your choice. That's really the most important piece of it, because you want to make sure that you're working with somebody that you like and that you trust, and they're going to guide you in the right direction. Once you have that relationship with a funeral director, they will help you to pick out the equipment and the services that work for you.
Pre-planning a funeral is undoubtedly one of the biggest and most important decisions you'll make in your lifetime. While you may not have the same ongoing relationship with your estate attorney as your doctor or funeral director, you can clearly see that sharing the intimate details of your life requires that you are comfortable with and trust the attorney you choose.
So when a person comes in for the first time and I ask for an inventory of assets, the reason why I'm looking for this inventory is to see what's going to pass which way. Is it going to pass by operation of law? Is it going to go by a beneficiary designation? Does the beneficiary designation make sense? If a person has named their parent and now they're married, maybe they want to update that beneficiary designation to name their spouse.
A frequent question that consumers ask is, what happens if the funeral home closes? The New York State Health Department Bureau of Funeral Directing regulates and closely monitors this process, and you, the purchaser, remain in control of your prepaid funeral funds at all times.
You just go to a different funeral home with that account, so it is always safe.
Any person applying for Medicaid SSI can set aside funds for the sole purpose of paying their funeral or burial expenses as part of the spend-down process for eligibility. New York state law requires that 100% of these funds be placed in an irrevocable trust account. What happens if you overfund this type of account?
Sometimes families, and I see this in my practice as well, think, oh, we'll put more money in that, we'll overfund it, and then when mom or dad passes away, we'll get the difference. No. So the department takes the money to pay for funerals of the indigent in an effort to keep people from overfunding it to do just that.
Another topic to consider when making an estate plan is electronic media. When people die, they leave certain things behind, including online profiles, email accounts, and social media information. While some sites, including Facebook and Twitter, have policies related to death, accounts often remain dormant until deleted due to inactivity or family or friends take action.
You want your agent to be able to get in there and manage that account, that's the iTunes account, or perhaps your banking online, or your Facebook account. So there's two prongs to it. First, should you become disabled, your estate planning attorney should be focusing on that with the power of attorney. And then after death, you want your executor to be able to manage those accounts.
The New York State Tribute Foundation has produced the publication Personal and Financial Affairs Checklist for End-of-Life Planning. This 17-page booklet is designed to help individuals deal with the problems surrounding a death, from arrangements to estate settlement issues such as taxes. To order your copy, visit tributefoundation.org.
It's often a good idea to pre-plan your funeral anyway. The reason is, if you leave that to the hierarchy, for example, to your children or your siblings or whomever that may be left after you pass away, I find when working with grieving families, it's harder for them to plan on your behalf because maybe they don't know what you would have wanted. They're grieving anyway. So if you take that step and do it on for yourself so that they don't have to do it later, that's a good idea because it saves them that problem, that trouble, and you're sure to get what you want for your funeral.